Brittany. So nice to see you today. And hi, everyone. And thank you so much for tuning into our show. So, this is how to build a personal brand like a boss. And, Brittany, I would love for you to introduce yourself so that everyone can get to know you.
Absolutely. So, well, one, Tara, thank you so much for jumping on this live. Obviously, I cannot wait to dive into this topic because it's very near and dear to both of our hearts. But anyone that's new to the PowHER brand and myself, my name is Brittney Canter-Barbe, and I'm an executive coach and consultant. And I help women in corporate build careers that bring them joy, that bring them meaning, and a hell of a lot more money than they ever thought possible. Because my friend, I see you, I've been there, I did it, and I spent 16 years trying to find that exact program. So much like Tara, I followed my dreams and took everything that I learned the hard way and decided, you know what? It's time to share this with the world. So happy to be collaborating.
I love that. And just for everybody that hasn't gotten a chance to know me, my name's Tara LaFon Gooch. I'm the CEO of Best Branding Solutions. And what we do is help executives, CEOs, and really corporate level executive teams grow and scale their social media presence so that they can save time and hassle and get as much reach and exposure as possible in a short amount of time. So Brittany and I just enjoy collaborating and working with other members of LinkedIn. Obviously, everybody knows that I'm always on here collaborating, but it's so powerful when we bring two powerful women together in the same room to talk about something impactful. But as we're talking as well, let us know where you're from because I know we invited a lot of people from all over the world. What state are you from? Where do you live? And feel free to use this as a networking opportunity as well. And let other people know if you're open to connect and network. This is how you grow your tribe, right? So, networking events just like this, grow your tribe. And yeah, let's get it done. Let us know where you're from. But we've got a few people in here showing up. So, this is awesome. So let's get started. So, how to build your personal brand like a boss. It's a topic very near and dear to my heart. But Brittany, you're such a great example of a personal brand that is genuine, that's authentic, that's all approachable, that builds trust. How did you do it? How did you do it?
Oh my gosh, Tara. Well, like everyone, I have no problem admitting that it's scary as hell to go out there and be a personal brand because what
Yeah.
so many people don't tell you is that you build your personal brand just as you would build brand a business, especially an online business, as we both are, and service providers, and you are literally putting your whole heart and soul out there. So there is no question as to why so many of, especially my clients, people that come, into contact with me, that's the first thing they're like, "Ooh, I don't want to do that." And to be honest, I built my personal brand when I was in corporate America, when I spent, almost those 2 decades, because as women, we are told since birth to not really claim our authentic self, and those things that don't really serve society, or what we've been told don't serve society, to water those down. So it took a lot of work on myself, a lot of work with coaches that I worked with throughout my corporate career to really hone in on exactly who that was. And that discovery was painful but amazing and empowering at the same time. So once I discovered, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to say stay in this box that society put me in. I'm going to be exactly who I want and unapologetic AF about it. And that's exactly what I did. And the second that I pivot from that, the second that I have self doubt, I see it. I see it in engagement. I see it in resignation. And because we all believe we have this poker face, my friends, we do not.
Absolutely. Wow. Say it from the rooftop, Brittany. So you just said a lot of things right there that are very powerful and resonating. Hopefully, everyone took something away from that. But we're taught from a young age to keep quiet, to not be so loud, to be seen, not heard so much, right? And especially as women. So, this is something really important. But when we get into the workforce, when we get into corporate America, when we start a business, whatever this is, if you're not marketing yourself, who's going to do it? Right? It's crazy. And then you think, well, if I don't market myself and if I have all these limiting beliefs and this self-doubt and this negativity and all of these things telling me that I'm something, and you start to believe it over time, don't you? And you really almost need a mindset shift in order to get out of that, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. And this is something that so many of us fight. It's not natural to have to change your train of thought. And so what so many of us do is we go out there and we buy every course possible, or we see these influencers, right? And we try to mimic and copy what they do. And I'll give you a great example. When I was in corporate America, if there was one woman that could fit into the boys club, it was me. It
Yeah.
was me. I was the one that had the very foul mouth. I would walk into that boardroom, I'd throw my shoulders back, throw my feet on the table. And I was not mimicking men. And that's what a lot of times what people believe. And so many women come into my program and then, or encounter the PowHER brand, and they are very surprised when I don't teach them to act like the type A assertive badass, that I am in that way, because what I show them is what makes you authentically you is your power. That's what makes you amazing. But getting to that mindset, I mean, we're undoing 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years of work, right? Of society, just like you said, telling you people, especially women, to stay small, to stay quiet, to stay accommodating, to stay obedient. And that one really gets all of us fired
Mm.
up. Yeah. And we do just that because we drag this suitcase full of what we should do into the workplace, and it really hinders who we are. So I always challenge everyone, don't purchase a single course, right, until you're ready to address the mindset, until you're ready to peel back those layers.
I love that because I've been there in life, right? So there was a point in time when I feel like I wasn't enough, right? So, maybe if I just get one more degree, that'll be enough. If I get one more credential, one more, a couple of letters after my name, then I'll be happy. Gosh, that'll make me happy, right? So, what did I do? I got a bachelor's. I got a certificate from Notre Dame, one from Cornell. Then I got my MBA, and then I got me my MBA, and I said, "This is it." Right? I thought, man, I would be happy and satisfied and exactly where I wanted to be in my career. And it wasn't the case because my mindset wasn't there. And that's so crucial. And I feel like a lot of us don't put that investment into our mindset. And we think XYZ is going to make us happy, XYZ is going to make us fulfilled, successful, etc. But we're not truly investing in our actual self, are we? We're investing in someone else's opinion of what we should do or what society says will make us happy or successful. That's not always the case, is it, Brittany?
I think it's rarely the case.
Yeah, I do too. It's interesting. It is interesting. And when you go through that mindset shift, we've got so many comments, by the way. Thank you guys so much for commenting. And as we're talking too, let us know what resonated with you if that's something that Brittany and I said. But the mindset, when I think of a personal brand, and when I start working with clients, one of the biggest hurdles is that mindset block, those limiting beliefs that we just talked about, that could have been there from childhood on that say, I'm afraid. What if others reject me? What if I get judgment? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And all of these fears of judgment start to come and all these limiting beliefs start to surface. And that's when we start to talk ourselves down and
Mhm.
say, you know what? I'm not an expert. I don't need to be saying this. This other person is an expert. No, ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely not true. If honestly, if you walk away from one thing today, walk away with that. There's something about you and every single one that is listening to this program right now that makes you absolutely unique. And there is a superpower you have that is just waiting to get tapped into. And that's part of, like what Brittney was saying, when you walked into a boardroom, it was authentic to you because that's your personality. So you don't teach others how to do that. You teach them how to become a better version of themselves, right?
Absolutely. So there's an exercise that I do in all of the workshops that I do, or all of the collaborations, and this is something that can be used, across all genders. Obviously, I only work with women or those that identify as female, or men that truly want to support our cause. But I literally have each person take out a sticky note, and I would encourage everyone that's listening today, a takeaway that you need to do. Tell Siri, make a note, whatever your MO is. And I want you to write out why you are better at what you do than anybody else. And I mean, when I want you to really be as arrogant as you can, just as cocky
Yes.
as you can, and write that out. And I want you to take what that is, and I want you to put that sticky note or a reminder every day. And every time you get ready for the day, I want you to look in the mirror and say that over and over and over. I want family walking by the bathroom door and being like, holy shit, mom or dad's losing their minds. Like, you're saying so much. And even if that's not how you traditionally communicate, and it's because no matter what it is, think about the last time you got a compliment. You were probably immediately like, ooh, that didn't feel good, right? And you don't even know how to respond. A lot of women, this is something we struggle with, but you are literally telling yourself and tricking the mind to believe how powerful you are. Because if you believe it, man, that confidence, that is so infectious. I mean, think about all the people in your life that you really admire and the people you want to hang out with. They have some kind of gravitational pull, and everyone thinks you're just born with it. You're not born with it. That is not what that is. People aren't just naturally, gifted like that. It's because they know who they are. And every one of us absolutely crave authenticity, especially in this world of filters, of everybody only posting their, perfect events. No one's life is perfect. Let the raw, the messy, the ugly shine, because that's what people want to see.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. And Brittney is such a good example of this. If you look at her content, and I really encourage, after this LinkedIn Live is over, look at her content. What is she doing, right? She's showing up as her authentic self. But what I love about her is I feel her passion every time she posts. I do. I do. It's true, right? I feel like it lights me up. When I read her posts, I get goosebumps. It lights a fire under me and I say, "You're right, I can do that." So even if on our worst days we're having these limited beliefs and the self-doubt, find someone else on LinkedIn that you can, use as a guide to kind of watch their content and inspire you a little bit too. Because honestly, you have to work on a collective basis. And, the buddy system, right? It helps if you're working with somebody like Brittney and following her content, because if you see what she's doing, you understand what you want to do, how you can, understand what she's doing, but put your own spin on it, put your own passion in there, and incite that same level of passion with other people. That's when you start to get really good engagement on LinkedIn and other places, is when you show up as your authentic self, but when you inspire your audience. That's key, right? So I want to go back because there was a comment here, and thank you so much, Christian. So on here for 6 months, still don't know how to build a personal brand. So that's one thing I wanted to hint on today, because part of building a personal brand like a boss is ownership, and it's a sense of urgency. Has anybody ever said, I wish I would have started that workout program a year later, a year, or I wish I would have asked for a raise from my employer a couple months after I actually did, or I wish I would have just delayed everything good. No, nobody has ever said that, right? So when you develop a personal brand, think of it with a sense of urgency, because this is how you set yourself up for success ultimately. It's with a sense of urgency and with timeliness. But now is the time, folks. 1% of LinkedIn users comment, 1%. 4%, or pardon me, 1% post, 1%. 4% comment. So 95% of LinkedIn users on this platform are not engaged. They're watching, but they're not actively posting, right? So part of that building a personal brand like a boss is starting today with a sense of urgency, because you see how much opportunity is in that pocket of 95%, right? Starts today. But how did you, Brittany, get started on your journey? And I mean, now you're just a powerhouse. You're somebody that we all need to be paying attention to here. But did it happen overnight?
Oh, absolutely not. And nothing like this happens overnight, and everyone wants the get quick fix. So take it into, you go to the doctor and you're having trouble with something. What's the first thing they do? Take this pill,
Yep.
right? No matter what it is in life, we are built, especially these days, for instant gratification. You want an immediate return on your investment, don't we all? But I think what you can do today, and what I did, is just start putting what you want out there, right? Don't worry about what anyone's going to think about it, because if it resonates with you, that's who the hell you are. And that's something that we do with my clients. Is the first thing that I would like to encourage everyone to do. And Tara, you know so much more on the execution as well, but is to literally map out, and it's a whole process we go through, is why did you become an executive? Why did you choose the industry that you chose?
Yeah.
Why did you choose the craft that you chose? And literally stop and just map that out, because so many of us go down the rabbit hole, especially in corporate America, of just doing. But you forget, like, why did I decide to be in tech in the first place? Or why did I choose marketing in the first place? And remind yourself of who the heck you are. And then, of course, going through and just saying, how do you want to leave an impact? How do you want others to feel when they talk to you? And just that one simple thing, and it seems simple, but if you just take an hour a week, put it on your calendar today to remind yourself of who you are, what your mission is, no matter what stage in a business you are, what you want to do, and how you want people to feel, you will have content for days. And you just start posting your stories. That's
Yes.
it. Just start a post today, put it out there. If you're not actively on LinkedIn, the chances are you don't have a ton of people that can see it yet. It's actually a perfect time to test it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Because you just never know. And, the thing about content, especially on LinkedIn, we know how many people like a post, right? You can look through your feed. I can see how many people liked it and how many people commented. And then it gives this little thing called impressions. So impressions would be my post appears on someone's notifications on a feed, and they see it. They might not necessarily comment or like it, but it's viewed, right? So it's an impression. Well, that to me that is where you really hone in, because when I look at impressions, I actually care about the amount of impressions I make even more so than the likes or comments.
Yeah.
Now, the likes and the comments, that drives the analytics, but I want a lot of people to see my message, right? I want to
Yes.
drive that attention machine, because that's when you start to really build your business and make a lot of, money. And that's what we want. But even if you're in corporate America and if you don't have a business, what, again, no one's ever said, I wish I would have waited longer.
Mhm.
You always say, I wish I would have started sooner. The absolute best thing anybody can do, regardless of where they are in their career, is to build a personal brand.
Mhm.
And I interviewed a friend of mine a couple months ago. He's a VP at his company. And he put it to me this way, and it stuck with me since. Personal branding reduces risk. Wow. I had never thought of it that way before.
Mhm.
But if you build a personal brand, you know, you have a built-in safety net almost, because the only thing in life that's consistent is change, folks. The weather's going to change, your opinions are going to change, the people you hang around with are going to change, your job could change at any moment. At any moment, any one of us could get let go from our position. We could get downsized. I mean, it happens every day.
Mhm.
The only thing that is consistent is change. So if you develop a personal brand, it reduces and mitigates that risk factor so that it sets you up for success. Because what if it happened? Have that safety net built in, everybody. It's so crucial. It's so crucial. Some people are commenting on that, but do you have any thoughts about that, Brittney? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, I have more than thoughts about that. I have a body of evidence. So,
Yes.
in my 16 years in corporate, I purposely changed roles every 12, 18 to 24 months. I was your classic job hopper. And the reason I did that is because I always knew PowHER was the end game, but I didn't want to sell something I hadn't actually lived. And so, for the last 5 transitions that I made, I didn't even have a resume, folks. And the reason I did that is through branding, is through making sure that I was connecting with the right people and I was interacting with them. And these are because 9 times out of 10, the job you really want, and I mean the job, not a job. At this point in an organization, you've paid your dues with a job. You want what's going to make your heart sing. And I was able to do just that. And so when people are blind applying, because that was the old school way, right, to get promotions, to get new jobs, people that are in transition. I mean, we saw yesterday, or maybe even earlier this morning, Meta plans to lay off like 90,000 employees. I mean, so this is something that you need, even if you're planning to leave in the next 2 years or you have no desire to leave at all, you want to have this out there because I'm telling you, on average, there's 200, 250 people that apply for jobs on LinkedIn. 4 to 6 actually get interviews, and one person gets the offer. So I would challenge everyone, how many things in your life that you do, you have a 0.4% chance of an ROI? Like, we're busy people. You don't have time for that. So while the quote unquote takes time, I think that's another reason that we tell ourselves we shouldn't invest in it outside of the fear. That is a huge return on your investment, no matter what you plan to do in your life, because social media is the game, whether it's LinkedIn, it's TikTok, it's Insta, you name it, it's out there. And if you're not on there, someone else is making up their personal brand for you.
Yes, absolutely. If you don't tell your story and if you don't build your personal brand, someone else is saying it for you.
Yeah.
Your personal brand is who you are and it's what you do, it's what you believe in, folks. But if you're not telling the world what that is and what that means and what that entails, someone else is going to dictate that. Someone else is going to share your story. Someone else is going to build your reputation. Trust me when I say this, you want to be the one sharing your story. You want to be the one communicating that. Because if you're not, you just lost your power. Just lost your power. And with that is leverage. So, a personal brand can really carry you through in life. And I know that if I ever decide, you know what, owning my own company, I don't know if this is for me anymore. And I decided to go back into corporate America. I have a Rolodex of people that I could make one phone call to and land a job. That is the power of building a personal brand. It's the likability factor, it's the trust factor. People already think they know you, even if they've never met you in person, right?
Yeah.
This is how you sell on social media. This is how you do it. It's the attraction mechanism. And you talked about magnetism, I think was the word you used. That happens when you build a personal brand, and what it does is it attracts those and pull those opportunities in for you. Because I'm tired of hunting. Is anybody else tired of hunting?
Exactly.
How about you start attracting?
Hmm.
Now, you're telling me that's not going to save your time and energy, because the statistic you just told us about jobs, it's easier to get into Harvard Medical School
Hmm.
than it is to get a job online, right?
Oh, absolutely. Through a blind
Wow,
applicant. Yeah.
incredible. So how much time and energy are we wasting applying to jobs when and we're not active on social media and we're not active on LinkedIn? This is where recruiters and hiring managers hang out. And I know that if I'm interviewing an employee, I I care about their, consistency, their work ethic. I'm gonna look on their LinkedIn activity and see what's going on, right?
Oh, yeah. And Terry, you make such a good point. So I ran people strategy for those 16 years. So I oversaw my VP of talent acquisition. And I'm telling you, the first thing that recruiters, hiring managers, headhunters do is they go to your LinkedIn. And if we went to a LinkedIn, the profile picture looked like crap or there was nothing posted, I promise you, we declined you immediately because we all want to work smarter, not harder. And we very much could have left amazing talent that we never was discoverable, no matter how amazing this resume looks like, because we saw that they were not investing in their brand.
Yes. And your LinkedIn brand can't be any more crucial right now, guys. There's over 880 or so million members on LinkedIn right now. And your profile, just like if you meet somebody in real life, right? You get 5 to 7 seconds at that first impression. And our brains, are hardwired for that very first impression. And it's kind of hard to undo at that point.
Yeah.
And it's just human nature. We can't help it. But when we look at someone's profile on LinkedIn, our brains form that same first impression in the 5 to 7 seconds. And if you're not a solid brand that I want to keep going back for more, you're going to be put in the pile of the 880 million other members that are here, and you're going to miss an opportunity. Just the same as if you're applying for a job or a promotion at work and you haven't invested in your brand on LinkedIn, you're going to get passed over once again. So it can happen with new connections and it can also happen with second or first degree connections if you're not engaging with your community and building a community, right? It's so important, Brittany.
Yeah, absolutely, Tara. Oh,
I know. I get fired up about this topic, but I think everybody is fired up too. They can feel our energy. They can feel how the sense of urgency here because we've had to build our brands from scratch. And it wasn't easy, right? It took time, it took energy, it took some perseverance and grit. But we're at that point now where both of us have that established personal brand. We have a network and we have that built-in credibility, that built-in trust factor so that we can sell our services on social media.
yeah.
And I don't know about you, but right after I developed my personal brand and got really, super strong at it, my prices got increased too.
Absolutely, they did. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, and it's because you know exactly what you're worth and you're demanding what you're worth.
Yes. So true. So everybody watching this show, you are worth it. You absolutely, absolutely can be successful on LinkedIn and in life, but it starts today, right? So just like this comment right here, the best time to build the brand is now. Absolutely, it's not tomorrow. It's not 3 months from now, because we don't know what the future holds. And at any point in time, your company may do mass layoffs. We don't know. So, we can't just say I'm comfortable in my role, this is where I'll stay. There is no more comfortable. Get out of your comfort zone, and I challenge every single person watching this to do exactly what Brittany said. Start writing down why you are an expert at something and what benefit, what value can you provide to others right here on LinkedIn, and what makes you different.
Yeah.
Right? What sets you apart and makes you super special? Because I guarantee if you put your head together a little bit, put that pen to paper, you will come up with some amazing results and absolutely start building this personal brand. But do it today, folks. Seriously, do it today. Um, but lots of great comments. Thank you all so much for attending our show today. Brittany, do you have any closing wisdom for this audience today?
Oh, absolutely. And thank you all that joined us live. For anyone that catches the recording, would love to connect with you. Definitely go to my LinkedIn profile. Would love to cheer you on. I'm going to be looking for your posts. And I hope you post something today. And all I want to tell you is at the end of the day, you know exactly who you are. Do not allow society or anyone else to make you water down and filter who that is. And absolutely own your power.
Yes, own it. Own it today and start treating it. You're a boss. You are a boss. So start acting like it, everybody. Thank you so much for everyone that tuned in. We'll catch you next time.